Hi friends, welcome to Dads and Daddies, a podcast about the lives and times of adult gay men in the here and now. I'm Brian Ruben Sowers, the dad.
And I am Judson Morrow, the daddy.
Hi Judson.
Brian, how are you today?
I am great. How are you? How was your first week of fun employment?
I have a great little story to share.
Okay.
So I'm in high spirits.
Great.
I really am. My husband urged me to take the week off and chill. I, however, am a Capricorn, and that is just not possible while I have bills that need to get paid.
Right.
So, I didn't devote my entire time to the search, but I am out here networking like a motherfucker. And I have 4 interviews set up.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I feel really good. One of the things that I have felt a shift in is, my confidence is a little shaken, so I'm not feeling super sexy. And also, there's a part of me that does feel a little bit guilty spending time I feel like I should be using to figure out the next steps of my career looking for dick. Like there's just like a little bit of a mismatch for me. At the same time, I am still a healthy gay man. So,
yes. And you deserve some self-care.
We deserve some self-care.
And I think 4 interviews lined up buys you some hookup time.
Thank you. So yes, am I on sniffies? You better believe it.
Yes.
Am I on as much as I was when I was employed? Wait, maybe that's the reason I got let go. Found out. So I'm really bookending my days. I do yoga in the morning and AA at night, and I just kind of hustle in between. And the other day, I went to yoga in the morning, and I walk out of class. I'm standing on the sidewalk in downtown Brooklyn, and I got a message from this dude who was like 700 feet away saying, "You into blow and go?" Meaning, like, I'm going to suck you off and then you're going to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hell yeah. Like, that fits in perfectly with my day.
Yes.
Can you host? Because I'm traveling. He says, yes, I can host in my office building. Hot. Like,
right.
what a great little setup. So he goes on to explain that I can just check in with security, say that I have a meeting on such and such a floor, and take the same elevator to a lower floor that is abandoned. And that's where he will meet me.
Wow.
Such a hot setup. And it like literally fell in my lap. Like he messaged me while I was in class and then was like ready to go.
Every now and again, I need proof that God is okay with this lifestyle. And then there's this divine intervention.
Oh yeah. No, Goddess was cranking it out for me for sure. So, I feel lucky to, in this particular situation, have experience in a New York office building.
Right.
Because I was not dressed for the part. I was in like a mesh cell block 13 tank top, these like booty hugging yoga shorts, and my like little crossbody that holds like my book and my water.
Right.
Like, he is not going to his job right now. But I was like, whatever, I've gone to office security like 3 times a week for the last 6 years. Let's do this. So I walk into this building and I say, hey, I'm Judson. I have an appointment on such and such a floor. And the security guard, like unfazed because it's just their job to deal with this shit all day, says, you got ID? I put my ID on the counter. She begins to look at it. And then she says, oh, hell no. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what did I do? Like, I'm fucking busted. And all I did was put my ID down. She says, you're not going to believe this. Can you just wait here for a second? And I'm thinking, yeah, like, where am I going to go? You are literally hanging on to my driver license. So she turns around, she starts scrounging through her purse, and I'm thinking she's going to get out like a walkie-talkie to call security and have me escorted out of the building. But what she does instead is she gets out her own ID, she puts it on the counter and says, what's up, cuz? Take a look. And we have the exact same last name. And she's loving it. And the hilarity is in the visual, right? I'm this like middle-aged white dude. She's this 20-something black woman, and we're both cracking up about the possibility that we could be related. She sends me upstairs. I get amazing head from a guy who I think is ostensibly straight based on his choice of footwear. He was wearing gray New Balance tennis shoes. That is like the straightest shoe I can think of.
Footwear says it all. We haven't even gone into my footwear. Like, Toby thinks it's the funniest thing. I cannot. It is a tick of mine. I cannot meet somebody or look at anybody without immediately glancing down.
I always look at shoes. I always look at shoes.
So much about a person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope people are not looking too hard right now because my toenails are disgusting. But that is something I can take care of over the next few days. My favorite part of this story is this. You are the person I communicated with immediately after. I send you a voice memo and I'm like, not safe for work. Don't play around your kids. And then what do you send me back? Her LinkedIn profile.
Well, I was like, is Mara really that uncommon a name? And then you proceeded to give me her first name, which is an unusual name. And so I typed it into Google and her LinkedIn came up and she's adorable.
Oh, she's so cool. So I connected with her on LinkedIn.
Oh my God.
And I'm just thinking to myself, oh my God, wouldn't it be an absolute fucking riot if this woman is the key to my next job?
That's amazing. Ooh, get a job in that building.
Yeah. So that's what I've been
That's your hookup of the week.
That's my hookup of the week.
I love it.
How's your week been?
My week has been really good. I started the week. I once again took myself out for a solo night of theater.
Yes, now that you've tasted it.
Yes.
Because you mentioned that you don't do this very often.
I don't, and
Okay.
I don't plan to do this every Monday night. It was a funny coincidence, but last week we were here with Josh Sharp. And we were talking at length about his, one-person show directed by Sam Pinkleton, who is the director of Oh, Mary, won the Tony Award for it. Well, Sam Pinkleton has also directed another one-man show happening right now. And I realized that I needed to see it this week because I wanted to speak about it on the pod. And this episode will be coming out on September 9th. And I believe this show's only running to September 13th. So if I didn't see it this week, I wouldn't have been able to speak about it while it was still running. It is a play called Can I Be Frank? It's by a performer named Morgan Bassichis. And it is truly, truly wonderful. And I really do recommend everybody run and go see this. You only have a few nights left at this point, and hopefully there's a bigger future, both for this and for Josh's show, because they really deserve really wide audiences. But it's very different from Josh's show. It is funny, and there are various moments of laughing out loud for sure. But while Josh's show is very autobiographical, this is biographical in that it is about somebody else. It's about a comedian slash performance artist slash singer who passed away in the mid 80s from AIDS, named Frank Maya, and Morgan Bassichis, the performer putting on this show, about his discovery of this performer and his subsequent obsession with this performer. And there's so many ways to describe it that would probably make you turn the other way. But in terms of like, it's important. It is a history lesson. It is about like, the height of the AIDS epidemic, like all these things that like sound like something you've seen a million times before and don't need to see again. But I promise you, the way that Morgan does it and this character through which he's delivering all of this, it is, I posted that night, like, I want Morgan Bassichis to teach me all of my history moving forward. It was so engaging. And again, like laugh out loud funny. Morgan is really unique and incredible. And again, you've got to know by this point that anything Sam Pinkleton touches is really going to be great. He associates himself with incredible artists like Cola Scola, Josh Sharp, etc. My friend Kevin Cahoon, who played the lead in his production of La Cage aux Folles in Los Angeles with Cheyenne Jackson. So I said, like, essentially everything Sam Pinkleton touches is gold, and you only have a few nights left, but go see Can I Be Frank?
This was also recommended to me by a friend, separate from what you're saying now. Yeah. And your description, that's like, it's all these topics that we have seen before, but it's fresh and it's new and it's different. It just reminds me of, did you watch the other two on HBO?
Oh, of course.
Do you remember the arc about the AIDS play?
Yes, of course.
incredible. The joke is simply like, if you walk out of the AIDS play, like, you're a fucking terrible person.
Right. Well, there's no chance to walk out of this one. It's 70 minutes, no intermission. And
amazing.
And you don't want to. I mean, you are so engaged, and this performer, Morgan Bassichis, really makes, I think, each and every member of the audience feel that they are speaking. I'm sorry, I believe I've been misgendering and using he this whole time. I believe they go by they, them. They really do make every member of the audience feel like they are connecting directly with them in some very real and specific ways. So anyway, I highly recommend Can I Be Frank. I'm also excited that based on Josh Sharp's recommendation last week, or should I say his shaming of me, I did go and get tickets to see Hannah Solo in O'Mary. I'm very excited about that. So that's coming up soon. Hannah has been the understudy since day one and is the one Mary outside of Jinx who I do have tickets for that I haven't seen.
That'll be your 19th time going?
I think it might be my 9th, and then Jinx will then be my 10th. I have to actually go back and do the count. A couple last highlights I wanted to bring up with you. I finally did it. I got my 7th Blowers review.
Oh, yes, the magic number.
So we're
now you
at
can
that
start
number.
to curate.
Now I
can begin to
curate. So that'll be a whole different experience, the curation that I will have to talk about once I get to 8 and decide
who's got to go.
So at the end of this night, as I told you the last time I took myself out by myself, I did not end up hooking up, but I had a lovely conversation with somebody that at least like filled the bucket of validation. But this time, the rest of the evening wasn't as magical as the first one. It was not quite in the same part of town where I had the same nostalgia, and it just wasn't, it was the second consecutive week doing this, and so it just didn't have that same magic. And I thought, okay, this time I really do want to make something happen. And again, I set the bait before the show, but unlike the first week, at the end of the show, there was nothing waiting for me. So I took myself to dinner again. And throughout dinner, like, kept trying to make something happen, had some frustrating conversations with some frustrating people on the apps. And every now and again, there would be a bite that I thought was going to go somewhere. It wouldn't. And so I finally bring myself home. My whole family's already asleep. It's close to midnight. I'm literally like about to get ready for bed. And then a blower's message comes through from somebody I've never seen before, who is literally the next block over. And cute boy, and I mean, by boy, I mean, late 20s, but for me, that's a boy. And it was easy. All he wanted to do was, service me. And I said, well, do you make out? He said, yeah, I love to make out. Those are my prerequisites. And so put my shoes back on. And even though I'd already come home, I'd even already gone in to like check on my kids and kiss them goodnight.
Because you're a good dad.
Yeah, but I went right back.
And you can have both.
Yes, exactly.
You can have it all, folks.
So I went back out, and again, 20 minutes or less, I was back at home at midnight with a new review.
Oh, yeah, 20 minutes or less. My hookup in this office building was like 6.
Yeah.
Because I was so into it, and I was like, I don't have to prove anything to this guy by hanging on. He wants a load, and he has to get back to work.
Exactly,
like, I'm not going to make this take half an hour.
I really tried to hold off as long as I could, thinking that that's what this person would want. And then at some point, I was just like, you're about to make me come. And he was like, great. And I did, and we were done. And it was funny. He also was recently laid off. And I could tell by the decorations in his apartment that he would be interested in the industry that I work in. And he also came from a communications background. So I was like, I gave him my company's website address and was like, well, look any positions up.
Yes, this is, I mean, that's the other part about like hooking up. I'm like, these people probably have jobs. Like, why not ask?
Right. That's so funny. Networking via hookup. So that was that. The other thing I needed to tell you is that I picked up my daughters from camp. They're just going to a day camp this week. We're recording this on the Friday of Labor Day weekend. This last week is the last week that any summer camp offers programming, because next week in New York City, kids go back to school. So I picked my kids up from their day camp this week, and my older daughter told me that one of the kids in her group got in trouble for calling the counselor daddy, because daddy, my daughter says, is an inappropriate word.
Oh my God, I'm floored. Tell me more.
I said, it's an inappropriate word? She said, yeah, like when people say, daddy. Like she has any understanding of what that means or its origins. And she said, it's okay to call your own dad daddy, but to call somebody else daddy is inappropriate. She said, you can call them dad, but you can't call them daddy.
I love this kid. And I'm also just curious about the counselor. Like, are they daddy? Have you met the counselor?
I have not.
Did she explain? Because I can also see a context in which the counselor is telling the kid what to do and to sort of like clap back or roll their eyes or like, okay, daddy.
No.
Do you know what it was about?
I don't think it was that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what I was getting is that this generation now believes that like they've clocked that there's a sexual connotation to the word daddy unless you are calling your own parent daddy. Like they call Toby daddy. He's daddy in this family.
Of course.
But just the way that they've been using slay and yes queen, like they've now come to understand that there is a sexual connotation. Not that she even understands what that means.
Right.
But that there is like some inappropriateness to using daddy on somebody who's not your actual dad.
I mean, there is, I don't know, trends online change so quickly, like even by the day. But what I've noticed recently on TikTok specifically is there is this trend where moms call the father daddy in front of their kids to see the kids' reactions. And I think these videos are incredible.
Like, I need to look this up.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's like they'll just be in the kitchen and she's like, hey, can you pass me the onion, daddy? And the kids are like, gross.
I mean, Toby and I refer to each other as Papa and Daddy, like go ask Daddy, go ask Papa, or like, I don't know, where's Papa, where's Daddy? But never with that like.
Of course, like they do. I mean, both things can be true.
Yeah.
And I do think it's interesting that someone as young as your eldest kid,
9 years old,
9 years old has clocked that. It reminds me, I think we talked about it briefly. I was at a dinner party here in Brooklyn, and the host was asking me about the podcast, and their 13-year-old offspring started educating me about how it was inappropriate that I used daddy in this particular context. They just said to me, like, I just don't think it's cool that you would use daddy in like sexy terms when that's how little kids refer to their biological fathers.
Yeah.
And very sweetly, the host of the party, who was probably a little sick of their kids' like precociousness, was like, this person, me, is well past their sexual awakening, and I think has a little more experience with this. So let him do what he does, and let's see how your attitudes change over time as you start to become a sexual being. And I was just like, oh my God, parent of the year.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for schooling this person in a way that I definitely did not feel comfortable because I just met them and they're your kid. But also, like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's great. He got in trouble for calling the counselor daddy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm super excited about our guest today.
Oh, I'm so excited about this guest.
Do you want to tell our listeners who they can expect momentarily?
In the studio, we have Boomer Banks. Woof. What a babe.
What a babe. But before Boomer joins us, we have a hookup of the week that I think you are going to enjoy very much.
Oh, I love that every week.
Yeah. Here we go.
Play it.
Hookup of the week.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Judson. This is Cody. I live in Iowa and I'm 32, 5'10", brown hair, 175. Today, it was too hot to be open for normal business hours. The temperature was like 95 degrees, heat index of like 110 plus. So my boss has allowed me to close down my garden center and greenhouse a little early. So I closed it around 2 o'clock today, get home around 2:30, start vacuuming, taking out the garbage, doing, domestic housework things because I'm married and that's what we do. My husband won't be home until 5:30, 6 o'clock. And when he does get home, he has more work to do. So kind of looking like I have the afternoon to myself. So I get a few things done around the house, check grinder around 3:30, 4 o'clock. And this guy who normally is 100 miles away is 3,700 feet away. And why do I say normally he's 100 miles away? Because we've had conversations on and off for the past 10 years about him coming over and fucking my ass. So guess what? We made it happen today. I had a window of time between 3:45 and 4:45 where I was like, hey, I can host for an hour. It's safe. My husband won't, walk in on us, blah, blah, blah. I'm actually sitting in the car right now about to go tell my husband about it, or maybe I'll make him listen to the podcast. I don't know. But anyway, let's just say it was fucking spectacular. It was well worth the wait. And we've already made arrangements to see each other again. So yeah, the sex was passionate. It was opportunistic. It was gratifying. It was everything. And yeah, I just wanted to share it. So yeah, sorry for being so long-winded. I love the podcast. Keep doing what you're doing. Fuck shame. Adios.
Hookup of the week.
Cody, you do not have to apologize for being long-winded. Your voice is beautiful.
Oh my God, so sexy.
You have such a sexy voice, my God. And I was into I was into you before we even got to the details of the hookup. You described yourself physically, and then you said you work at a garden center and that you took the trash out. I was just like, what
in Iowa?
In Iowa?
Yeah.
What a fucking man.
I know. All of the above.
This is instructive for me because 10 years is a long time, but
Yeah.
also like it doesn't add extra weight to your phone to have 10 years worth of messages. It's
Right.
just data. I can be very quick to think, oh, hasn't happened in 3 months, delete, block, whatever, move on. And the way that you describe it being worth the 10 years of flirting makes me reconsider. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. Like, just let it live in your inbox. Who fucking cares?
Right. Oh my God, there's so much I love about this. Like the description of sex as opportunistic. I love that. Like as a positive. I love that. It's amazing. I love the waiting in the car and like debating whether he's going to tell the husband or surprise the husband with a hookup of the week on Dads and Daddies.
I mean, we could go super meta. Remember a couple weeks ago when you were explaining that you got head from your husband
Yes.
while you read his Sniffy's message?
Yeah.
I want Cody to give his husband head while his husband listens to Cody tell this story
Yes.
on this podcast.
Oh, I love that.
Just a rack. You probably have already told him because it sounds like you have a very sweet thing going. Like you're married, you're open, you took advantage of the house to yourself. But just in case you have not yet shared with him, that's my little tip.
It also just made me realize how blessed you and I are to live in New York City.
Oh, God, I think about it all the fucking time.
Because like even like 3,000 feet is like, oh, they're too far.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before. If the reason I like Sniffy so much is if you're on the island of Manhattan, on the southern tip, like in the financial district, and you're using something like Grindr or Scruff,
Right.
500 feet away is somewhere else in Manhattan,
Right.
Jersey City, New Jersey,
Right.
and downtown Brooklyn.
Right.
Which, I mean, for me, the Sniffy's map changed everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3,700 feet, you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Right.
I don't think so. I don't got that kind of time.
So first of all, like it was amazing to me that there was this connection at all with somebody 100 miles away.
Mhm.
And it made me just realize again, like, wow, like I'm so blessed to be in this like overly populated, with queer, horny people, part of the world. Because I just don't connect with people 100 miles away. And so clearly there are opportunities and just like relationships, whether they're online relationships or whatever, that I'm missing out on. And that like, yeah, I mean, going from 100 to 3,700, 100 miles to 3,700 feet, that's a real win. So anyway, yeah, Cody, could you just send us, just record like the details of your day every day and just like send them to Judson and me.
Yeah, once we start
material.
getting advertisers, I'm going to recommend that like you do them.
Thank you so much for submitting that. Everyone, please keep sending us your hookups of the week. You can record them on your phones, on your voice recorder or voice memo apps, and then email those files to dadsanddaddies@gmail.com. We love them so much. Truly, nothing makes Judson happier.
Oh my God. I just go through them and listen. I'm not even doing it with an effort of like what to pick for the show. I'm like, I'm just going to fucking listen to these.
Yeah. So thank you. Please keep sending them. And we are going to take a break and we will come right back with Boomer Banks.
See you with Boomer. Hey, listeners. Welcome back to Dads and Daddies. We are here with Boomer Banks. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Boomer.
Hi, dads and daddies.
Hello. I'm going to do a little bit of gushing, and then Brian is going to read your bio for us.
Yeah. Do you ever eat Gushers fruit snacks?
I had Gushers 3 nights ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That is absolutely true.
That's not what I expected.
Coincidence.
Work.
Brooklyn Bodegas, baby. They have it all.
No, I've been seeing them lately. They're making a like reinsurgence.
Oh yeah. No, all the stuff that we got to enjoy as like 90s kids and teens like is just repackaged.
But then I try them and I'm like, did I really eat this?
Right. Not the kind of gushing you want in your mouth. So speaking of gushing.
Oh, no, I just wanted to say, for our listeners, Boomer and I have known each other for quite some time, almost a decade, but largely just in passing through our secret, not so secret club. And it was just really nice to connect.
What's your secret word for it?
I just call it my secret club for people with willpower issues.
That's a big willpower issue.
Do you have a term for it?
I really don't. I just like to know what people call it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because my husband's like, it's not so secret. You guys have websites. And I'm like, well, it's pretty secret in that a lot of people haven't found it yet.
Well, it's anonymous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's very anonymous. But recovery for me is okay.
Yeah. I use all different terms.
Yeah.
But it was really nice for us to connect in what I felt was a really meaningful way this summer in P-Town. And it has brought you, it has brought us closer and it has brought you to this very chair. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, I'm very excited that you're here.
I listen to podcasts when I'm working out more than I do music.
Oh, really?
And I'm a DJ, and I love music, but honestly, I like listening to voices when I'm working out.
Books on tape? Just podcasts?
I have listened to books on tape.
Books on tape. Oh my God, how old am I?
I think at one point, the last book on tape that I listened to while working out was Michelle Obama's book.
Oh.
Because she reads it herself.
Yes.
And her voice is very amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Not the Britney Spears memoir read by Michelle Williams.
No.
Stop right there. It's so good.
It was read by Michelle Williams.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Michelle Williams of like Dawson's Creek and the Oscars, not Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child and Death Becomes Her.
I was thinking, does she trip during the reading?
I mean, the foreword is done by Britney Spears herself. And it is an excellent listen, and I also read it.
But I do love Michelle Williams, yes.
Wait, which one?
Both.
Okay. Shall I read Boomer's bio?
Yeah.
If you somehow do not know who Boomer Banks is, Boomer Banks, who first emerged in 2013, has embarked on a diverse journey spanning go-go dancing, adult entertainment, nightlife, acting, and now DJing. His passions include advocating for his community, spirituality, and most notably, his passion for house music. Currently, he holds a residency at Good Friday in New York City and Tough LA's Hottest Leather Party.
Yes.
Boomer is also a GayVN Hall of Fame winner and only the second person of color to win that award.
Yes, unfortunately, but fortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome, Boomer Banks.
Thank you.
Great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with recent history. What took you to P-Town this summer?
Well, P-Town is like my second home. So it's my 13th season there. And this summer, I took on a different role in regards to where I was working, and I was managing all the entertainment and the entertainers that came through Crown and Anchor this summer. It really felt like my second home this year because I had a bigger role. It wasn't just DJing or in the past like hosting or whatever it is that I did before. The first time I went to P-Town 13 seasons ago, I was asked to come on stage after a performance and just get naked and dance. So the Crown and Anchor got specifically for my performance a cabaret license for their venues so that I can come out naked. So the Crown and Anchor, thanks to me, has a cabaret license and you can get naked on stage.
What a feather in your cap. When you have a place like P-Town that has such like a party vibe, specifically, there's kind of like a lot of drugs and alcohol in the atmosphere. There is also just kind of naturally really strong recovery. So how does it work? How does it work for you there?
I've never felt not supported in my recovery there. That's why I think it's even more important to keep that place safe, because people ask me all the time how I do it, but I just don't know how I don't do it. Like I didn't start my recovery journey to be boring and just stick around.
Right.
And I know that it's important for some people to just hang out with other people in recovery, and that's what they do. I was told to live life on life's terms. And for me, life on life's terms is like the whole world. So I wanted to be able to interact with the whole world. And pass my own judgment and whether I can be in those spaces or not. And I've been fine. I know that's not the story for a lot of people, and I respect that, but I've been good. And I think it's because I've challenged myself to be as okay with everything as I possibly can.
One of the things that I like so much about P-Town, in difference to Fire Island, is that as a relatively like outgoing / restless person, there's just more for me to do there.
Yeah.
Right. So it's easy to kind of bookend your day with a meeting in the morning or a meeting in the afternoon, but then there's just like a ton of stuff going on throughout the day.
I'm always tired at the end of the day. And the crazy thing is everything, it's not New York. Everything ends at 1.
Right.
But
everything except for one important activity.
Which is the pizza place?
The Dick Dog.
I am not, I don't particularly care for the Dick
Dog.
Oh. I have enjoyed it. I like to see a little bit of what's happening.
Yeah.
Sure. The art of cruising is a lot of waiting, right?
Yes.
But also, I'm getting too old. So if I'm not, stimulated, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just touched on something really important about the death of cruising. Is if the art of it is in waiting, people can't wait anymore.
No, but so when it comes to that to me is not cruising. That to me is like you're going there.
Yeah.
Cruising to me is like, old school, like going to the Rambles and like right at dusk or some bathroom that's assigned for that. Cruising is very interesting nowadays. And when I was growing up and at the mall, you'd go to the bathroom at the mall.
Oh my God, R.I.P. malls.
Yes. You go to the bathroom in the mall and, and it's weird because I was underage. And my thought process back then was like, these dirty old men are hot.
Same.
But now it's like, I will not look at an underage kid.
Of course.
But how is it? Oh, I don't know.
I understand completely, because when I was 16, I had a 32-year-old boyfriend.
Oh,
and thank you so much. Which at 16 years old, I was like, yep, got it. And
so,
now,
is that a daddy issue?
Probably. No one's ever asked me the question.
Because when people talk about daddy, like real, like literal daddy issues, like I never had a dad. So me liking older men, which has never been like, I just like older men. But when I did, it was never because I was like, Dad.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was just like, you're a hot dude that
Right.
could show me a thing or two. That was about it.
Yeah. But like on the flip side, when I was younger, I just felt like I loved the attention. I loved the physical attraction. But then when I eclipsed that age, I thought, oh my God, like what the fuck was that guy thinking? Right? And now I'm just grateful that young people have each other to experiment with, right? Like we didn't have same age counterparts as part of our sexual awakening.
And when we did, they were afraid to talk to you because there was no coming out for me. I was a faggot, period. So in high school, there was no like, hey, I'm coming out. It just kind of everybody knew I was, but there was even more effeminate guys in my class or underclass, but they were not gay.
Right.
So it wasn't you can talk to them because they were afraid, but also they were like caked on with MAC makeup. And you're just like, hey, sis.
What was your family situation with regards to coming out?
So I unfortunately lost my mother to the disease of addiction when I was 14. She drank herself to death. And I was, it's very rare for a Mexican woman to just have one kid, but I think it's because she had an addiction problem that she just had me. The rest of her brothers and sisters had multiple kids. So when she passed away, I like I said, I didn't have a father. He died, apparently, from what I've gathered, with his gay lover in a car accident.
Oh, okay.
So my mother was always telling people about it, and I would hear, but I don't know. She was the drunk, so I thought maybe she was telling stories, but then someone did confirm that was an actual truth. So I went and lived with my mom's family, her brother specifically, and I was just excited that I was going to get a family, and they didn't know what to do with this faggot. Yeah, and they were not very kind to me. So it was 4 years from 14 to 18 of me just kind of trying to exist. So my outlet was school and making friends with the head of the cheerleading squad, like best friends, and hanging out with the popular kids, but still being gay and fabulous in the 90s, which was unheard of, in the middle of Santa Barbara County, which is even more unheard of. Yeah, but my family was definitely not okay with it. And I don't care if they watch this and hear it. They've already heard it from me many times. I am very respectful to them, but I don't need them in my life.
Yeah.
I never have. Everything that I have, I worked very, very hard for myself. Yeah.
And then in your bio,
yes,
we talk about a diverse journey spanning go-go dancing, adult entertainment, nightlife, acting, and now DJing. Is that listed in a chronological evolutionary order?
The one thing that isn't in there, which was interesting, I guess I flipped my mind. I haven't killed it, but I went to school for fashion design, and that's why I moved to New York. I was working for a designer, but 3 months into me living here, they got bought out, and I didn't care to work for that designer. And so I feel like my life started when I moved to New York 15 years ago. So that's what I think I wrote. But there's a lot of fashion. Like I got to show in New York Fashion Week a few years ago, right before the pandemic. There was this gender fluid store called the Fluid Project, and they helped
in the Village, right?
Yeah,
yeah, I remember it.
And they backed a collection from me, and I showed, and it was beautiful, and it was a dream come true. But fashion is you need a lot of money. A lot of money for fashion, and it just, yeah. So, yes, I continued to do like fashion stuff, but then that was my 40-hour-a-week job. And then I had a hosting job at Cafeteria Chelsea.
Yeah.
And that was like 16 hours a week.
Still there.
It's
Still there.
Yeah,
Crazy.
We just ate there. Yeah. And then I would bartend and go-go dance in the East Village at the Cock and Phoenix. And people started noticing me there. I had never really done anything like that when I lived in Los Angeles. Like, never really went out. Like, the last few years, it was just school. When I first got sober, it was school, the gym very sparsely, and then home. Like, I didn't really go out, nothing, and meetings. Like, I would just do all that, and I didn't even have a car in LA because I think I knew that I didn't want to be there.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just kind of like in this little bubble. And when I finally had the opportunity to move to New York, I did. The nightlife in New York fostered in, photographers taking photos, and then they're like, "Oh, take your clothes off," and I'm like, "Sure." And then they're like, "Whoa, what's that thing in your legs?" And I was like, what is it? What? And honestly, I've never been the type of person with a big dick that leads with that. There's those people with the big dick that like have already told you that they have a big dick before they even walked in the room.
Yes.
And that's their whole personality. It's never been me. As I am talking about my big dick.
Nice.
Yeah, but like, to be honest, like 30 minutes into the interview, so you make a great case.
But people finally saw, and then on Twitter, and then Falcon Raging Stallion reached out, and I thought it was like I thought it was maybe like I didn't really believe that they were reaching out, and they're like, "We want you to be in our next movie," and I was like, "Sure." And I got I was like, "Oh, sure, okay." So I send my number, and then Steve Cruz, who used to be a big porn star before, at that point now was a director, and he called me, and he's like, "How hairy can you get?" And I was like, "Ta-da." Like, I don't shave or anything. He's like, "We have this fetish movie coming out, and it's all hairy men. We'll put you with the hairiest guy. It'll be fine. We want you. What are you doing on June 13th? And I was like, "I'm turning 33. And he's like, "We're flying you out." And I was like, whoa. Like, it just
happened.
Yeah, because like, all the like Treasure Island and Eric Vids had like reached out, but in 2013, sorry, people were still using condoms for porn. So doing it at that point, doing bareback porn was still kind of like a death of your career.
Well, PrEP hadn't yet become commercially available in the way that it is now.
It was available, but it wasn't commercial.
It was as post exposure,
and people were just about barely talking about U equals U, and also I was HIV positive. I am HIV. I'm undetectable, and I have been for over 22 years now.
Yeah.
And so that was also like, I didn't know I could do porn and be undetectable.
Right.
And I said that right away. I was like, "I'm undetectable." He's like, "We use condoms and we test people." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then once I did it, I realized everyone's undetectable.
Yeah.
In gay porn. Not everyone, but a lot of people. But they just don't talk about it. And quickly I realized, people don't talk about it. And I was talking about it. So a lot happened really quick in porn right away for me. I was also, and still am, a minority when it comes to that industry. A lot of people don't know this and still like ask me. I actually have not done studio porn in almost 3 years. And I didn't like make a big old announcement about me, and me winning the Hall of Fame award was, I'd never imagined that was going to happen. But it's also like, they're like, "Okay, you old bitch, here's this award. See you later."
Lifetime achievement.
What's old in gay porn?
I don't know. These days, I mean, you guys have a Dads and Daddies podcast,
yeah,
like, celebrating that. Like,
Yeah.
in gay porn, there's a huge genre for that.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be a dad or daddy.
Right.
And so for me, like from fashion, I went to nightlife and, but I still dabble in I think my life has always been artful in that way that like it just kind of evolves. And so not recently, like 3 years ago when all that happened, and the reason there was so I lost my best friend 3 years ago, to the disease of addiction. And I kind of got really grief. I didn't know that was going to happen the way that it did. So I just stopped doing it. Like everything was it was this time in my life that I never knew was going to happen. I never knew I loved this person in the way that I did until I lost them. And so I'm sitting around and a DJ friend of mine was like, "You love music, like you're sad, why don't you come play music?" And I was like, I wouldn't know what. He's like, "You've stood behind me at the DJ booth for years. The odds are you probably know what you're going to do." And so I did. And that's how DJing happened, as it was birthed through my grief. And it's now become this powerful force in my life that now it helps me celebrate that person constantly, because they would have been my biggest fan. They always were. And they would have been so happy for me at all my gigs, being my booth bitch, like just having the time of their life. We would share music on Fridays. Fridays was our favorite. Like I would always get a new music song from him. And I was looking through our history, and like every Friday there was a new song that would come out and like, "I like this." And I would send him something I liked. So music is a huge part of our relationship. So there was a lot of components, but and house music in New York and nightlife for a decade was so prominent that it made it okay. And it also made it okay when I was telling people, DJs, like very legendary DJs, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I see this for you." And I was like, "Oh, how come I didn't see it?" So it is very helpful, but I'm still on that journey. I'm still trying to figure it out. And I think they see that and they appreciate my, me not thinking because I'm this name that like I deserve. I tread very lightly. I know that I do get gigs because of my name, but I show up and I do the best so that they can be like, "Oh, he's actually good." And I've had people be like, "Wow, I didn't realize you were that good." And I don't take that as a bad thing, because they didn't and I didn't. And I'm glad that they do now.
I can assure you this is not like Adrian Brody and his art. Okay. Like, fuck you. And I also just want to say I am, I'm extremely, yeah, I'm going to turn it around. I am sorry for the loss of your friend, and I can deeply relate to how surprising grief can be.
It's so crazy. Like on the way here, he had this fragrance and I bought it. So every time I feel like I need him, like I'll spray it and like have it on me. So I have his scent on me right now. And like on the way here, I was like, "Let's go. I need you." Like I still 3 years later, and it's good. I feel like it's never going to go away. And people don't talk about grief anymore.
No, they do not. Yeah. And like what's clearly come out of this is like it opened a window, right? Like a way for you to work through it now through your shared love of music. And honestly, like if you can use your name to get the gig, but then prove you belong there, fuck yeah.
I call my DJ mom, Nita Aviance is my DJ mom. She's from Carrie Nation, legendary DJ, trans icon. And she was one of the first people. She's like, "Use your fucking name. Yes, use it. But your music has to speak. So make sure that you're working on your music." And I was like, yes. And it has. I'm grateful.
Do you envision a transition to full-time DJ?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, right
awesome.
now it is that's what's happening.
Mhm.
But I envision even more, which is the producing part.
Cool.
That'll happen because I hear myself like, oh my God, I remember this song and it would sound so good if I did this. Like I'm getting that itch, and that's when they're like, oh, okay, you do want to DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Because you meet these pretty people and they DJ, and then like I talked to this and he's like, I'm just doing it because it's fun.
Mm-hmm. We all know that guy.
Yeah, and I'm like, cool. Yeah.
But you do continue to make content, adult
Yes.
content.
So I came out with I met this amazing content creator named Juven. He has this very unique website called Come Dump Van.
Come Dump Van.
Yes, you got to check it out. It's
I
fun.
will.
Yes, and he gets a van and he gets a cum dump and he puts them in there, and then he just calls people and he parks the van somewhere undisclosed, and he just invites people over to dump in this person, and it's gone really popular. He has been doing porn for a very long time, and I met him and we hit it off, and he's like, you should have a website, because I stopped doing the studio stuff.
Right.
I was just using OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And that everyone is not doing well on OnlyFans. Everyone's numbers have
Oh, is that true?
plummeted. Yeah, because it's so saturated.
Yeah, it's just like the sheer volume. Mm-hmm.
And also like it's just anyone is doing it now.
Right.
Like it doesn't matter. Like everyone is. That's why I have never called myself a porn star, because Chad in Missouri calls himself a porn star, and I am not that.
Right.
I've worked way too. If he wants that name, he could keep it. Chad from Missouri could be a porn star. Awesome.
Right.
You are a porn star. I am not that.
Right.
I worked way too hard.
Right. You're a porn legend.
I am. I am Boomer Banks. I that's all I say. Like, I am Boomer Banks. I love what I've created as a brown, Mexican American immigrant, queer in that industry, to have maneuvered the way I did, having to work 10 times harder than my, Caucasian counterparts, and being told I'm intimidating, I'm loud, all the things all the microaggressions that are thrown at my way because I bring up things that are valid. And I took all the punches. I didn't care. And I did listen to an episode I told Justin about, of someone that you guys had on the pod, and they talked about the industry from a place of privilege, which is fine, and that's great. That is not my experience. My experience is I had to work 10 times harder. I didn't just show up.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't just call. Everything was a punch, and then it kept going, and a punch, and it kept going. Like, I was constantly being punched down. I'm not a victim, because I continued to do what I needed to do. And it's porn. I know that it's just porn, but people consume that shit like crazy.
Yeah.
And there has to be some sort of representation. And so, in not taking credit for the amazing ballroom culture, but when I started, other people of color were not very inviting to me. They were actually pretty nasty to me. So
started in porn.
Yeah,
I see. Okay.
They were really nasty to me. And so
why was that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because there was not room for another person.
Yeah,
Right.
self-preservation for the limited space.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought I just didn't see it that way.
Right.
So every time a person of color would come to me, I'd be like, hey, yeah, we could be friends. And eventually one of them was like, can you name me? And I was like, oh, a Banks boy? That's cute. And then one turned into two. And so I have a House of Banks.
Amazing.
And your previous guest did not invent that.
Okay, now I know who we're talking.
You're like a porn sponsor.
But I adore your previous guest, and he knows that.
Okay.
But he did not invent that. But my reasoning wasn't to like collect Pokemon. My reason was for them to have somebody to lean on if they needed to.
Yeah.
But they're such strong personalities, they've been able to be themselves. And that's kind of what I wanted.
Yeah.
For them to, it's like the whole thing, like I'm probably not going to go to your Christmas party, but I love to be invited. Like I created that so that they have something, but if they're strong enough, they won't have to utilize it.
Right.
And they were. And that's what I wanted. I wanted them to feel empowered and beautiful and brown and black and whatever. Like, and all body types. I have a Bowser Banks, a plus size bear in the family who's fucking amazing. And he's like a rapper. So he has like his whole other career aside from like doing content. Yeah, they're amazing.
They're very lucky to have you, and they're very lucky to have each other, and you're lucky to have them.
I'm lucky to have them. They're very, very awesome, and it's not about, like I said, like having a harem or anything like that. It's just about showing that you have that support if you need it.
Yeah,
especially when it comes to sex work. You know, sex work could be very, which I didn't even know. And like we talked about this, I made the choice to be a sex worker fully sober. This wasn't out of necessity. It wasn't because I needed drugs or I was doped up. I met other sober sex workers and I was like, oh, wow. And I was always told I'm very sexy and, you know, all the things. I was like, I could do that and still be sober. Oh. And so I did.
Something I wanted to ask, which I'm gonna call back to a previous guest as well. We spoke to Guy Wolf a couple months ago, and something he said that was really interesting to me that I would love to get your take on. He was talking about, because he is a sex worker and a content creator, he doesn't anymore seek validation through sex in terms of like seeking romantic partnership. It's kind of like the furthest thing from his mind. Like, how do you negotiate that in your own relationship? Because you're booed up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a fiance.
Congrats.
Yeah, my validation, I don't think it ever came from sex.
Mm-hmm.
My using was to not feel. Like I wanted to just be void of feeling. It wasn't to fit in. I was talking to my therapist this last Tuesday, and there's never been a moment for some reason for me where I felt like there's been hopelessness, but like I've always just stood up for myself because there was no one there. Like my fondest memory of being a kid and 5 was cooking myself bacon and eggs. 5-year-old kid on the stove.
Yeah.
Making himself food because I needed to eat. So I've always been there for me. And I know that's not the case for many people. It's hard for them to get there. And trauma is a lot. And I've experienced an intense amount of trauma. Like, I should not be here. I am a brown, HIV positive immigrant, drug addict who is now 21 years sober. I am an anomaly. I should have been dead. I was given a chance and I took it, and I have not taken that for granted. And it's because I want other brown and marginalized individuals to see that you don't have to fall into. That's easier said than done, but I do think representation matters. To see someone like me just be okay in their own skin. But it's hard, and I hear it, and it breaks my heart when people tell me their stories, and I'm like, well, I just didn't want to die, and I just wanted to do this, and I did it. I don't know where that comes from because I was not taught that. I didn't have a mom and dad to teach me to be strong. I didn't have even parental figures.
Yeah.
My parental figures didn't even hug me when my mom died because they were like, I don't want to hug the faggot. That was
we don't want to catch that.
That was my experience. Unfortunately, but it made me who I am. And I don't know what it is. I honestly don't know. Because like I said, I had no one to teach me other than myself. If anything, when I was living on the streets in Hollywood, trans women and drag queens would let me sleep on their couch. And even though we all did drugs, and because that was normalized back then, and we all did our thing, they still took care of me. So if anything, they taught me to fend for myself. I remember one things that they would say is like, you're gonna fight, and we would fight all the time physically, but if you use your words, someone will always feel like shit if you use your words against them. And I was like, so they taught me how to be quick-witted and, sassy and whatever it is. I don't do that on purpose, but I know how to defend myself. And it's through years of having to.
Yeah.
Yeah. The years of having to. But yes, so I veered away, but sex does not validate me.
Mm-hmm.
Love validates. Like genuine, not even unconditional, because love is very conditional. That's also I feel like a wives' tale. Like love is very conditional, but if you understand and communicate with your partner the ins and outs of what conditions those are, and you have that communication, that to me is all I need, is communication. And also sometimes that changes.
Yeah.
Sometimes that changes.
I want to hear about this fiance of yours.
He is he's phenomenal. He has nothing to do with the industry.
How did you meet?
We met 13 years ago in P-Town when I was first there.
What a place. God.
He was 23 years old, so I didn't really pay him any attention. He was a hairless twink. And then fast forward 10 years later, after my best friend passed away, I didn't even have people over to my house. I was deep in the like cruising era because I like didn't want anybody at my house. I was just having public sex, and so that it just get it out of the way or whatever was happening at the time. And I ran into him again, and he just was so comfortable with who I was, and I think it had to do with so he's a funeral director. And he just knew how to deal with my grief.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I really feel like my best friend who passed put him in my life. He's just like, the only thing that could deal with you right now, girl, is Mortician Adam. But we've created this amazing relationship of communication and sharing all of our thoughts, ins and outs. Like we tell each other all the time. Like I've never been able to tell someone everything the way that I'm able to tell you. And that's good and bad. Yeah. And not bad in the way that like it ends things. It's just bad because sometimes we don't agree. But we get to talk about it and work through it. Yeah.
Congratulations on finding that person. And, the fact that they're a funeral director, like angels on earth, right? Having had my own interactions with them, I'm just like, wow, it takes a really special... And they're also fucking smart. You got to get a degree in like human science and then also have an EQ that is off the
There's
charts.
times where he's like rubbing me somewhere and he's like, this is called the blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you touch dead people like that, stop.
Oh,
Shall we ask Boomer the question we ask all of our guests?
it's coming up.
What is it?
Boomer, what is your daddy issue?
Not enough daddies in my life.
Hmm.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
I want more daddies in my life.
I mean, you got one.
I think once you start being a daddy, per se, like other daddies, I don't know how it works. I want to know how it works. But I like older men. But once you're older, they like younger men. I don't know. I like daddies.
Well, you have two people right here who are
Yeah,
happy to be your daddy.
we gotta start a daddy share. Yeah, I'm gonna work on this.
We'll do an app.
I gotta be honest.
Airbnb
Like,
for daddies.
I would love that. As a daddy, I consider myself a switch. I think that I am a good son when the environment permits it. But it's like, as a daddy, I also want to be held. I also just want to follow instructions. And I also learn a lot. Like, if I allow myself to slip into the son role for a more experienced daddy, in which there are many, I learn a lot about how to be a better daddy to my sons. There's a lot there. We could all use more daddies.
Yeah, that's the only issue I have. But you're right. Like that, I do, and I find that in my partner. Like, he is very nurturing and loving, and I'm a bigger guy, so to have, and I often get that from people because I'm trueverse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can switch on a dime, like, and people are like, "No, you're a bottom," or "No, you're a top." But most people, obviously, you're a top. But when they see me bottom, they're like, "Oh, he's a bottom."
It's so interesting when another person labels you. You're like,
projection.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. But I also have a huge ass and so I'm not sorry.
Yeah. Can you well, I don't know. That's a dumb question because I've seen it. I was going to say, can you flip in the same session? And you absolutely can do.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean by, like,
Mm-hmm.
I can. Like, recently, it always happens. Like, the minute I stick my dick in someone, they just bottom. And I thought that I was going to be fine with this person because we had flipped before, and they just, like, bottomed out. And they sent me a message like, "I'm so sorry." And I was like, "No, I just didn't." I'm like, "Oh, can we do it?" I was like, "No." It just turns me off when someone's like, "Yeah, we're going to verse, fuck." And then it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a break and come back with our Go Ask Your Dad?
Yeah.
But before we do that, Boomer, tell our listeners how they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at baconlvr. I've had that handle forever. I just didn't care to change it. It's baconlvr, bacon lover. Yeah, and I've nurtured that handle from its conception, and it is what it is. I have what is it? The TikTok. I have the TikTok. I'm so
I'm on the TikTok.
And because of the reality show that I did, it got big, so I have a following on there, and hopefully I'll start doing more things because we have one more season. Well, we might have more of that show, and
which is what?
It's called X-Rated NYC on Out TV. It's just basically porn stars. It's basically housewives, but porn stars of New York.
I love that.
Brian loves Housewives.
I do. I watch all the Housewives.
You will love this show.
Okay.
It is so silly in a very queer way.
Okay.
And if you drink or if you have friends who play drinking games, you guys should play the drinking game of how many times I use the word twink in one episode. You might get a little wasted.
Okay.
I was like, how do I say that word so much?
That's hysterical.
I mean, there's a lot of them out there, so it makes sense.
Well, specifically in this show, apparently they're my arch enemies.
I love that arc.
Yeah. So it's so you can find me on TikTok. It's Boomer Banks, and on X, if you just put Boomer Banks, you could find me. But it's Boomer_Banks on I still call it Twitter.
Yeah, we all call it
Yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah, I still call it Twitter.
Yeah.
And also
I actually think it's the Twitter.
and the Blue Sky, I'm on that too, which I have a massive cute following there too. I
Great.
like Blue Sky. Blue Sky is fun.
Yeah, we love Blue Sky.
And so I have a Blue Sky as well at Boomer Banks. And at your local bar, DJing house music. In P-Town all the time. I'm back for Spooky Bear in a couple weeks. It's like a week's away. I mean, Christmas, Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, same shit.
Same difference. You can find me at your local cruising bathroom. You can find me at your. I've never cruised Prospect Park. Have you?
Oh.
I have had sex in Prospect Park, yes.
Then you have to show me
Yes,
where to go.
I would be delighted.
No, but I have been to McCarran.
What?
Yeah.
There's what spots are there in McCarran Park?
Wait, baby, there's a spot.
Oh, I feel it's like,
Not during
folks,
the
this is a park in North Brooklyn. I feel like it's just like an empty field.
Boomer will show you the way.
We will do a park cruising trade.
We don't.
I'll show you.
We also don't want to blow up the spot.
Oh, of course. Yes. People do get upset about that.
One of the most popular DMs that we get is asking Judson the specifics of a Provincetown spot that he alluded to. And so we're constantly providing the specifics about that.
I've never said it on air because I want to keep it precious. But if you DM us, I will absolutely send you a Google map.
There's definitely video and pictures of me at my spot in P-Town. There's like a wooden bench atop. Yeah. I wonder if it's the same spot.
It just might be.
We're going to take a break. These two are going to compare spots in P-Town, and then we'll be right back with our Go Ask Your Dad.
See you in a moment. Hey, listeners, welcome back to Dads and Daddies. We have arrived at Go Ask Your Dad, where we address listener-submitted questions. Disclaimer, neither Brian nor Boomer nor I, although professionals, are not mental health professionals.
No, we are not.
We just address your experiences with our experiences to welcome you into the fold.
I'm mental.
I'm psychotic.
So why you're listening to our advice, God only knows. But if you still want it, email us your questions at dadsanddaddies@gmail.com. Voice memos turn us on the most.
Hot.
And here is this week's question. As I enter my early 30s, I'm starting to really explore all different kinds of sex, and I'm interested in experimenting in some kink, including some stuff like bondage and ropes, different role plays, and maybe half the tags and sniffies. I've been interested in trying all these things, but I'm not sure what I should be looking for in hookups for introductions to all these activities that might require an experienced hand. Do you have any tips or resources for the kink curious and who are eager to dive in?
It's always interesting to me when people are like, these are my kinks, because a lot of people lead with that, but it just kind of sounds like they're just vomiting words a lot of times. For me, I'm very specific about man scent being one of my kinks, feet, piss. But all that is very specific to, and I've also realized that those kinks need to be curated by an actual connection. It can't just be it had some guy put his feet on my face in a bathroom somewhere once, and that I have a picture of it, and it's the hottest thing in the fucking world. And there was obviously no curating of a relationship during that bathroom session. But a lot of times these things need a connection. So yeah, there's the hashtags that people, and hopefully they're very true to what they're saying. So just send them a message and be like, hey, I saw that you have this hashtag. Let's talk about it. I'm interested. I'm curious. Just ask for what you need. Yeah, always. And also make sure you tell people because a lot of those things invite other things. And if it's not something you're into, be very okay with saying no.
No notes, honestly. absolutely agree. I think the fact that this listener has already identified that there are these tags on Sniffies and on other platforms. And I think it is great practice to put yourself out there, let people know that you're interested, let people know that you're new. I personally, so my specific kink is spanking, and I love introducing people to it. I am not turned off when someone says, hey, like I'm new and I've never tried it, but I would like to, because I know there are different grades, right? Like if you are brand new to it, I am not going to use the same power or dynamic as I would who is like a very seasoned practitioner. So I think be very apparent about your noviceness, if you will. And you know what? In the same way that we say this about sort of interacting on the apps all the time, if someone is not interested, don't let that sway you away from your curiosity. It's just a connection thing. It's one person, one time who doesn't want to pee on you. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, listen, what are our 3 favorite words on this podcast?
Open, honest, and direct.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you have both said...
and that describes just transparency.
Right, right.
That's like complete, like, it's one thing to be honest, but transparent. Like, I could say to my partner, like, I'm out with a friend. I could be like, I'm out with Jim, who him and I do this together.
Right.
Like, transparency is so much more beautiful. And that is also a thing when it comes to especially kinks.
Yeah.
Like, be very descriptive.
Yes. I think you don't want to leave anything to the imagination in the conversation because, yes, some kinks can come, like you said, can invite other activities, can come up against boundaries. And so, you know, we talk about this all the time too. Like when you're on the apps, there's no reason to not ask for exactly what you want because, and like you just said, if one person's not into it, then that's fine. Then that connection is not the right connection. And maybe there's another. But, you know, I think you should always be very protective of your boundaries and make sure that it is clear what you are interested in trying. Like Judson said, apparent about your level of noviceness so that you can find somebody who's, like Judson, really happy to be that intro for you.
Right. Because I use the word ripe a lot when it comes to man scent, and some people like go real south with that. Like,
in what way? How do they go south?
Well, some people use that word and they like to eat dirty butthole.
Oh, okay.
And that's not what I mean by I mean like the day ripe, like at the end of work day after the gym.
That's how I've always known it.
But some people will be like, oh, have you cleaned your butt today? Like, I have no poop shaming, but it is not for me.
Right.
No blood and no pain.
Right.
Like you mentioned spanking, like I've had tops topping me and then they like spank me and I never agreed to that and it hurts and it takes me out of it, you know, like, but there's been guys that have done that, but they do it with their hand, like, and you feel the pressure, but not the like sting. That's hot to me. Right. But the not spanking me and it stings. I'm like, okay, I don't want to do this.
Right.
My whole clenches.
Yeah.
And I'm not in a mood anymore.
And somebody may have the best of intentions.
Yeah.
So
they're into it. They're in it.
So this is why I think it is important to be very explicit about where your boundaries are. And if you don't know, because if this is all new to you, you might not know where your boundaries are.
So discovering, maybe talk to someone that, like, just keep talking to people that maybe someone else is new at it and you guys could discover together.
Yeah. I like that too.
And for those of our listeners who may be in the New York area, there are some really great kink parties that we would be happy to direct you to. And it is, you know, the only rule for membership is that you're open-minded. You can absolutely show up having had no experience just because you want to watch and learn. And it's also a service to your partner or partners to be vulnerable and honest about your experience with a particular kink, because if they're expecting a certain proficiency that you just don't have because it's born of practice, it's going to be disappointing for both of you, right? Like they're not going to get what they want because they expect you to have a certain skill set. And you're not going to get what you want because you're scared of the performance aspect the whole time. So letting folks know that you're new and interested is so hot and such a win for both of you.
Yeah. The first time I got roped and bonded, it was by someone who knew how to do that, and they suspended me in the air, and it felt so amazing to not be in control.
Yes.
But I wouldn't like just do that with a random person. Let them tie me up.
I took a bondage course with my husband, and it was so long ago that I have since forgotten everything because it takes practice. It is a skill that is learned over time.
Because even him knowing, like, it hurt, but because he was like touching me a certain way and like talking to me, and then like he got hard and then I got hard, like the pain went away.
Yeah.
And it just turned into this moment. But I can't imagine just like feeling the pain. The person's like, "You're gonna be good, bro." Get me down.
As you're like, suspended in the air.
They're like, "I don't know how," and you're like, "Oh my god." Yeah.
Thank you so much for the question.
And have fun on your journey. I'm so excited for you. There is so much to uncover. This is a very cool moment for our listener.
Yeah.
Keep us updated and maybe send us a hookup of the week. Thank you guys so much for listening. Boomer, thank you so much for being here. I hope this was as fun for you as it was for us.
Yes. Yeah, it was great. I had a great time. You guys are fun.
Come back, hang out with us again. Again, Bacon Lover, Bacon LVR on Instagram, and I assume that will direct you to all other channels as well.
Yes.
And then, of course, there's also...
I talked about me having a subscription site, and I didn't even talk about the subscription site really quick.
Yeah, of course.
Please.
foreskinmafia.com.
Okay.
Like, I didn't want to use Boomer Banks because I definitely want to use that for my music. So I have boomerbanks.com, but I was like, what can I use for something that's really catchy?
Yeah.
And I used to hashtag Foreskin Mafia all the time. And we actually, in Raging Stallion, we did a movie called The Foreskin Mafia at one point. And I asked my director, I was like, can I use this for my website? He's like, yeah, we don't have and we found the website, and it's foreskinmafia.com.
I mean, hearing it,
it's
my
catchy.
mouth watered.
Yes.
And just so you know, it's not just for people with foreskin. It's for curious. It's for voyeurs. If you're into it, if you're not into it, there's hot sex on it all the time. And I just started it back in May, so it's a new baby. And it's where I put all my content now.
Amazing.
I've strayed away a little bit from OnlyFans.
Okay.
Because I wanted to work on this baby. And I'm able to hire people and yeah, it's been good.
Love that.
And then give them a platform, and yeah. So foreskinmafia.com.
Foreskinmafia.com.
A third time, foreskinmafia.com.
Thank you all for listening. Before you leave the platform on which you are listening to us, please give us a rating and write us a review. They help us out so much.
I wrote you a scathing review.
Half a star.
Don't do that. And check out our website, sign up for our newsletter, get yourself some Dads and Daddies merch, and come back and listen to us again in a week.
See you in a week.